Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going through the step-by-step process of drawing a realistic strawberry in Procreate. So I'm just going to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Essentially you just want to take a fine-tipped pen and use this as a way just to draw out your basic shape. So I'm drawing 3 ovals to represent the body of the strawberry before I go in with the outline. And this is just on the first layer. So what we'll do next is add another layer on top of it so that we can actually build out the proportions of the strawberry properly. Next, we're just going to start working on the strawberries' leaves. Don't worry about these looking perfect, and go ahead and just kind of scribble on some leaves at the top. Great, so we're going to add another layer. First we'll take away that bottom layer where our shapes are, but we're going to add another layer underneath our outline layer. So layer 3 is actually going to turn into layer 2 there. And this is where we get to actually color in our strawberry. So we're going to pick a shade of red and we're going to go in with a softer brush. So I believe airbrush would work really well, just anything that's soft and easy to fill in a certain surface area. Now I'm just picking a lighter color just to give the strawberry some dimension off the bat. So we're just going to just take a lighter shade of red on the top of the strawberry because that's where our light is going to be hitting the strawberry. And then we're going to put some darker tones on the middle bottom area. And so every time I add in color, always blend it out because there's no hard lines on realistic images. And then after I fill anything out, I go around and I essentially carve out the image and make all the lines look smooth around the body of the strawberry, mainly because we're going to be getting rid of those dark lines, those black lines that we started out with building out the body there. So once we take those away, we do want the red to leave some smooth lines for us. Next, I'm just going to take a watercolor brush and choose a green just to do the leaves. Reason I'm choosing watercolor for a brush is just because it looks a bit grainy, which I believe strawberry leaves look a bit grainy as well. They're quite textured, so it'd be good to choose a more textured brush just to fill this in because solid or smooth wouldn't really be an accurate representation of them. Great, so after we're done erasing everything that's outside of the lines, really, we're almost ready to take away our black lines. So as you can see, we're left over with some bumps and whatnot, and even though strawberries probably do have bumps in real life, we just want to smooth this out a little bit so it's not looking as wonky. So next we're going to be drawing on the seeds to the strawberry, so you want to make sure that this is on a new layer as well. The way that I decided on placement for the strawberries is essentially the strawberries seeds seem to be in unison. They're not randomized. They do have a form of unison to them, and I just chose to do them diagonally. So now we're going to pick a lighter color and go back to the base of the strawberry layer, essentially, so where the body is, and we're just going to color in those little seeds. So essentially just by doing so, we'll zoom in, but essentially by doing this, our dark lines that we do want to keep to outline the seeds, it'll make it a little bit easier for us to see if we just draw on the body itself. And this is just a part of layer manipulation, essentially, for when you are designing or drawing on Procreate. But strawberries have lighter seeds, so we want to keep that in our art as well. Great, and now we're gonna start adding a bit more depth to the strawberry. So we want to create the shadows and the lights. And so just take another soft brush again, and what you'll want to do is likely create a new layer on top of the body of the strawberry, yet underneath the seeds still, so that you do have the ability to blend and erase the lighting as needed. So we're creating a new layer because we're going to be adding in some light at the bottom of the strawberry as well. So you can take a soft brush and just create a pattern at the bottom. This is really just reflection from the light coming from the top, from the bottom of the strawberry. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to be essentially drawing all over this on a new layer, so it's not going to be damaging anything, and I'm going to go in and take my eraser to actually carve out the details of it. So we're taking our eraser around the seed pockets because they would be casting a shadow, because the seeds are actually indented in strawberries, as we know. So what we want to do is just actually represent that shadow by erasing some of this highlight around the seeds. So now what I've done is I'm just taking another fine-tipped pen, just increasing the size and opacity, and we're just going to be drawing another reflection piece on the strawberry. So follow along. This doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you can just kind of draw around those pockets of seeds, and that's where the light's going to be hitting the strawberry. So you can choose just like an area on the bottom of the strawberry. Don't worry about these parts being blended out well, because I'll show you what we'll do a bit further along in this tutorial. But essentially you want to pick not a full white, but something a bit lighter than what we did for the bottom reflection color. So it can be like an off-white color would be perfect. And we're going to be doing the same thing. We're just going to blend out the edges a little bit, but we're going to go in with our eraser and kind of build out so that we can have these accurately go around the pockets of the seeds. Great, so now we're going to be doing another light reflection piece near the top. So I increased the lightness, so I made it a bit lighter than what we did at the bottom there for this piece, because at the top of the strawberry is essentially where the light source is coming from. So we want to make sure that that's like the whitest part of the reflection. So we're just going to be building out another reflection portion to the strawberry right in the middle. Okay, so now what we're going to do after we've added a bit more detail is we're going to draw the final reflection piece at the very top of the strawberry. So this can be as white as it comes with a high opacity as well. And don't worry too much about being specific here. I was a little bit too specific, honestly. I think that it doesn't really matter exactly how you carve out this reflection. I just wanted it to be a bit more precise, but what you really just want to do is, again, make sure that you are leaving those pockets open for the seeds. And because we're dealing with white on white at this point and the opacity is so high, I wanted to carve around them rather than just draw over them again and then erase, because it's a bit harder to find them when you do that. With a high opacity, because you can't see through the paint that you're putting down. So that's what I was doing here. But the idea again is just to draw white around those seeds at the very top and just kind of create your own little design at the very top. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate, just because it's all it is light at the end of the day. So okay, so next we're just going to be taking another soft brush and we will be just drawing around some of these seeds just to create a bit more depth and just show essentially where the light is hitting around those pockets. So you can go ahead and just start adding in some light reflection around the seeds. And again, these can look kind of messy because what we're going to do is actually blur out a lot of these light reflection pieces, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment, and it's going to give it a much more realistic effect. So I'm just kind of playing around with this and just choosing some harsher light to add at the bottom of the seeds, at the bottom of the strawberry, because realistically that's where the light would be hitting them. And now we're just going to want to take something a little bit more solid, so I take another fine tipped pen, bring down the opacity a bit, choose a brown color, and we're just going to be going over on a new layer some shadow to go around the seeds with, just so that we can create a little bit more depth with this strawberry. We've added in a lot of light, and now it's time to add in some dark. So what you can do here is again add another layer and create these little circles around the seeds just to represent a shadow, or just enhance that pocket of the seed a little bit more. And what we can do afterwards, because we want to keep the middle of the seed, if you will, light, because we colored those earlier, we can go in with the eraser and just go over that little light area just to remove some of the brown that I put over it, just to bring back the seed in the middle there. Okay, so as we finish up just removing some of that brown over the seeds with the eraser there, now what we'll want to do is go back to that reflection layer. And this is where the fun part comes. We're going to go to Gaussian blur. We're going to pull our pen over to the right of the screen, and it's actually just completely blurred our reflection layer. So we're going to do the same thing for the bottom reflection. And so by doing this, it's just targeting the layer that we have selected to be blurred, and it creates a much more realistic effect than what we had previous. So now we're going to be going in and again adding in a little bit more detail just to enhance that realism just a little bit. So we can leave these unblurred really. They're just to add in a bit more realistic reflection at the bottom. Last but not least, we just want to go back to the base of the strawberry, and we can just choose either another fine tip brush or even a paintbrush. I wanted to stick with something a little bit more simple but also had a little bit more grainy texture to it, so I went into the drawings tool and chose that brush just so that I could go over the leaves again, just to add a little bit more detail to them. I'm picking a yellow color just to add some more dimension because that just seems like it's a bit more accurate to what a realistic strawberry looks like. So we're just going to build out a bit more highlight throughout the leaves, just to create some more dimension and some more detail to them. And we're just going to go through and create a leaf-like effect by giving them stems and little details throughout the leaves as well. And then you just want to go back and forth with like blending and adding some of these details essentially. Nice. We added some brown specks to the top of the strawberry as well because they typically have that. And then the last thing that we're going to be doing today is just adding a bit of a shadow at the bottom of the strawberry, which will come in just a moment here. But Great, so after doing these final details, I'm just adding in another layer underneath the body or the original layer of the strawberry, just to add a shadow, just to create a bit more realism to this image. So as I'm doing so, we're just going to be taking another like airbrush or something soft just to draw underneath the strawberry, have it a bit darker underneath, and then have it fade out a little bit around the outside. But while I'm finishing this up, I did just want to thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you guys have any questions or any comments, please leave those in the comment section. And if you did find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to my channel, and you can expect just weekly tutorials like this moving forward as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys here next week.